Okay, we're down here in New York at the Hall of Fame, and I'm with the co-founder and most of the president of this that puts this whole thing together. The convention, the seminars, and the Hall of Fame. This is the man that does all the work. This is the Grandmaster Dr. Jim Thomas, and I want to thank you very much for coming to the show. And he's so busy running around, I actually tied him down to the chair so we had a quick interview with him.
My thing was I always want to be a karate teacher, and I knew being in the medical science field, learning how the body worked, was going to enable me to be a better teacher.
Yeah, absolutely.
And learning where it came from and some of the different religions, so I'm a Christian, some of the different religions were important because people would ask me, what is a Taoist?
Yeah, exactly.
What is a Buddha?
Yeah.
What is a Christian? Yeah. I want to learn about that so I could educate.
There's also some really good truths in these things. From what I understand, I think Bruce Lee took a lot of these truths from Confucius and Lao Tzu, and he applied it to the martial arts and kind of cross-referenced martial arts.
That's great.
And I think that's probably, you found that interesting when you was doing it to yourself. So now, let's fast forward now. We're going back to the 60s and 70s. I'm sure some of these people watching here weren't even around then. But so now,
well, that makes me feel good.
Well, hey, I started in the early 70s myself, so I started right at the Bruce Lee trend.
Right.
You know, he just passed away from when I started, about 75. So at least I can reminisce about the same thing.
I got to watch him do the 3-inch punch.
You were there?
In Long Island. Or I mean,
you were at the Parker
at Parker National.
You were there?
Yes, I was there.
So you saw the.
I didn't understand the significance.
Could you just talk about that for a minute?
I watched that. And I watched everybody gather in and the big commotion. But as a child, I mean, not a child.
Listen, he was a teenager.
Well, he was. He actually was. I mean, he was known. There was a lot of controversy. There was a lot of controversy about
his words.
But they still wanted to see him. And when he did that 1-inch punch and knocked the guy over the chair.
Is this the one where, I'm sorry to interrupt you again, but I've got footage of this and I want to put it maybe on the show. Is this when Con Reed is kneeling down?
Yes.
John Reed.
June Reed.
June Reed. And he's kneeling with the mic or something? And he does the guy?
Yes.
You were there at that?
Yes, I was there, but I was a young teenager. And I thought, well, that's cool. Knocked him over. I thought, oh, that's okay. I didn't really understand.
Did you meet him?
Yeah, yeah.
You met?
But I was just a little guy,
So
I didn't mean anything to him. My father met some treehouse. It did because
he knew.
Yeah,
they knew each other because they go back to the pioneers. Yeah,
that's right.
You know, at Parker and so forth. So you were there. You saw the Bruce Lee 1-inch punch. You met the man and stuff like that.
I competed at that tournament.
You were competing.
I still have
at
a trophy
tournament
that I won that was at that tournament.
What and trophy and what?
I won forms. Got shut down in fighting.
You won forms.
I won forms. In my division.
And this would be 66, 67?
The 1-inch punch, when I seen that one was, no, it was in the late 60s, I do believe.
67, I'll bet. Because I believe the footage is marked that I have.
It was the late 60s.
We're going to flash that later. I will show that footage of that 1-inch punch. I have a real clear footage of that. So that's very fascinating that you were there for that. But, let's... Well, I know it's getting really busy, and he has an awful lot of things to do, and it took me a while to get him to sit down so we could do this interview. I want to thank Dr. Thomas so much for being on my show.
You're welcome anytime.
And hopefully next year I'll be here again, and we'll get some more interviews with these people, and I think now we're going to flash off and go to something else.
It's been fun.